Yeah.
You'll soon hear it. But I have to start. It's a fabrenga. It has to be a fabrenga. We can't just start like this learning. I want a little mashlim from last week. The last two Mugadik Sichas we have from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe's big thing was, we spoke about this last week, it's on the Shabbos we spoke about this, just a few nice stories that from over the years. There was a beautiful little booklet that they put together, stories from the Rebbe. This story, I was speaking about this story to my Zayda, who heard it from the Baal HaMaisa. There was a Rav in a shul in Crown Heights. This is in back 1958, when Crown Heights had shul, so it was a Jewish neighborhood. So he was also Lubavitcher Chassid. Forget his full name is Gazinski. And he had two Balabatim. They used to come to shul. They lived on the corner of Union and Brooklyn. Becoming a point today, I was picking up my daughter from a friend's house, Union and Brooklyn. Oh, he's a Schwarze today. I see white goyim. Union and Brooklyn,
what you see?
Full of white goyim. Couldn't see one
gentrification.
Couldn't see one Schwarzer for Shleiman. Yeah. There used to be. That was such a terrible corner. There were shootings there all the years. I couldn't see one Schwarzer there. It was all white. That corner was such a hangout. Anyway, back to the story. Louis Huzinski lived in the corner, and he used to come to the shul. He became friendly with the rabbi. The rabbi influenced him very much, and he decided he's going to put on film. And he wrote a letter to the Rebbe, and that was, he made achlot, he's putting on film. But he had a younger brother. He tried to bring his Morty, his younger brother, but his brother was he wasn't interested in Judaism. And the rabbi gets a knock on the door, and Louis is there with his brother, Mordechai. A terrible thing. They diagnosed him with stomach cancer, Rahman al-Islam, 1958. And they said that emergency, maybe they could do a surgery, maybe they could help him. But he's nervous about this. And they told him, if you don't come immediately for surgery, you're going to die. Rahman al-Islam. So Rabbi Gazinski said, look, I'll tell you what to do. Run right now to 770. It was right before Rosh Hashanah. It was a day or two before Rosh Hashanah. So go to 770, go to Rabbi Chadikov, ask him if you could see the Rebbe. If he refuses, so just wait at the door. And whenever the Rebbe leaves, give him a letter, write up a letter with what happened. Give it to the Rebbe. They waited at the door. Oh, so they came to Rabbi Chadikov, he said, nah, we can make an appointment, but after Tishrei. They waited at the Rebbe's door. The Rebbe came out at midnight to walk home. They didn't write any letter, but they walked over to the Rebbe and they said, we have very important things. The Rebbe invited them into the room. And they told the Rebbe what happened to the brother. The brother was telling the Rebbe what happened. And the Rebbe said, if you want, I could give you a diet that you will eat for 3 weeks and you will be healed.
The Rebbe was nutrition.
Yeah. But with the condition that you accept upon yourself from now on to put on film every day.
Guarantee.
Oh, wow.
It's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the guy was smart.
Happened with Dr. Zelikson.
He agreed, and the Rebbe gave him a thing of what he should eat in the next 3 weeks. And the Rebbe told him afterwards he should go to Dr. Zelikson. People smile when they say Dr. Zelikson. My teacher in 8th grade was his son. Dr. Zelikson's son was a teacher in the Torah. He once verbrengt here. I was a patient by Dr. Zelikson when I was a child. His father, even though they laugh at him, but he was in his heyday. He was a professional doctor. He was in Europe, but the Rebbe used him as a conduit for heavenly things. And Kayadua, he would be very upset at a person if you came in to get examined and then he gave his name and then you said the Rebbe sent, he would get very angry at you. You have to, it was the patience and then there was when the Rebbe sent you. Were two different tracks. It's not that he didn't know anything. He was also a different doctor. He had different training. He trained in Krakow, and he wrote works on certain type of diseases. I mean, he wasn't trained like a regular. Well, he's seen any patient. He had an opinion. He had his own way He has his own way of medicine. In other words, not that he never went to medical school, but he wasn't trained like your regular doctor today. I'm saying it because I know his son, Rabbi Zeliksy, would get upset that people that laugh at his father. Kila's father didn't know first and last thing about medicine. Not true. His father wrote big papers about this machla, that machla. Okay, but
his father is the one that makes penicillin.
he had a b'shaychus.
He did it, and then they took it away from him. That's why he became a little bit.
But his good shine. So next day, Rabbi Gazinski came to the Rebbe to get lekach. The Rebbe used to give lekach before Rosh Hashanah. And the Rebbe said last night, the two brothers came to me. Did they tell you? He said yes. Is he putting on film? He said Mistam. The Rebbe said please make sure he does it. So Kachava, he made sure that he has it filmed. He told him to teach him how to put on film. And 3 weeks go by, and he goes to Dr. Zelikson, and Dr. Zelikson gives him an exam. And he says, it's terrible, you got to go to the hospital. She said, but the Rebbe sent me to you. So he said, okay, 1 second. You know what? He said, go home, I'll call you back. I'm going to look into it again. Called him later at night. He said, I thought it through. I thought it through.
Yeah, okay.
I made a mistake.
It's tapering off.
Keep on with the diet. A week or so later, he came to his rabbi. He's actually feeling better. He's gaining weight. He was losing weight, and that was the problem. And it was an indication. That's why he went to Mechatchila to get checked. He's starting to gain weight. So, and he wants to know if the Rebbe would allow that he should take X-rays or whatever if he can go to the hospital to get tested. So they asked the Rebbe said that if he wants, he can get tested. So he went for a day of testing in the hospital, and he was really nervous, and he waited for a couple of hours, and they came back, the results, they said,
Gornish.
Mamish. He lived for many years, healthy. Nothing.
He's still putting tefillin.
I don't know now. I'm talking about story I have 1958, but this was the Rebbe's big thing about Zov. Zeh hanoisen bori. The Rebbe said that every Yid has to be bori, has to be gesund. The other thing the Rebbe said is that every Yid has to be wealthy. I spoke about this last week, Shabbos. So there was a beautiful story in one of the last publications of Beis Chayenu. There used to be a publication, 770, and the Rebbe turned to the right, or the Rebbe turned, and the Rebbe went like this 3 times or 8 times. But Beina LeBeina, they had some very nice stuff, and really they looked after the tenuas that the Rebbe did that were each one very bediuk. The truth is they were very bediuk. And they have one of the last publications of it in the Beis Chayenu. They have a story from a businessman who had said that this is way back when, many years. I mean, this was published in 1992. So, and this was a story he said that happened to him many years earlier. And he, a whole bunch of their friends, told him that they were involved in this business. They were at a discovery somewhere where a gold mine. Kipshute, a gold mine. They want to invest in mining the gold. The kid said he was going to invest $500,000, and unbelievable profit. The projection of profit was unbelievable. Millions, like money free. Money raining on his head. It was almost too good to be true, but it was true. But he didn't have the $500,000 cash. The kid said he spoke to his brother-in-law in London. They put the money together. So before he was going to invest the money, he said he asked his friends if they could bring him documents about the business. They got upset. They said, "Listen, any day we're losing the chance." He said, "Look, I'm a chosed Lubavitcher Rebbe, and if I don't have the documents to send to the Rebbe, I don't get his brocha. I don't get his brocha, I can't do the business." So they gave him a whole bunch of documents about this gold mine. He sent it in to the mosquitoes. The Rebbe said, "This is not a business for you." Agav, this happened from time to time. There's a fellow on this block. He'll tell you b'simcha g'doyel the story as many times as you ask him. Mr.
The last house in
the last house here.
Yeah.
He has a lot of brachas from the Rebbe and a lot of yechidus, story with his mother-in-law.
What's the
No, the last house.
Candles?
The
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
the
yeah.
big house.
Yeah, yeah,
The,
the big
one
house.
that manufactured the,
Yeah.
Candles.
the lift.
Yeah.
Cooperstein.
Yeah, Cooperstein.
Right,
Wow.
His mother-in-law. He said,
The White House.
his mother-in-law is going to jump out the window if he buys this house. Rebbe said, don't worry, let her jump.
It's a low house. Not going to be far to jump.
The Rebbe said, don't worry, it'll be good. Then he bought the house. He tells a story. Ask him, he'll tell you the whole. He
Yeah.
said, but the bottom line, it was an investment in Israel, and he thought he's going to make. The Rebbe told him,
No.
what's his first name? He'll tell you always. He says, Motel. Say his name is Motel. It's nicht vader. He says he can't. Adar, he says it like with such lightness. Like he says, every Rebbe I go to, I give a brocha. The Rebbe says, this business is not for you.
No, usually, any other Rebbe you go to in this, it's like, give me your book this, because once you make money, you give you a big charity
That's-
bag. Here, the
Rebbe told him, not for you. So this guy, the Rebbe told him, not for you. Turned out, a few weeks later, this was in the news. This was all a hoax. This was a hoax. Initially, there was no gold, there was no kesef, there was no choishes, there was no zohov, so given garnished. The Rebbe Pashat saved him. So that's the story with the zohov. Now we'll start with this week's Sikha, which is a beautiful Sikha. It's the last Mugadik Sikha, collection of several Sikhas that Rebbe spoke at that time. L'kovid Zayin Adar and L'kovid Shabbos Tetzava. Okay. So the Gemara says, and there's more Befrotis in the Medrash, that Haman made a goydel to see which chodesh is the best chodesh to carry out his plan against the. So Hipul Pur Hu HaGoydel Miyom Yom L'Chodesh L'Chodesh, and it came out the Chodesh Adar. He said, he was so Samach Simcha Gedoyla. He said, this is I got the Jews because this is a good Chodesh because Moshe Rabbeinu was Meis. V'lo Yoyadei Shebeshiva Ba'adar Meis Shebeshiva Ba'adar Noila. That's like the Gemara Megillah.
How did he know?
How could he be such a fool?
No, how did he know such a fool? It's like, how would you know the day that he died, and you don't know the day he was born?
I don't know.
I'm saying is, where did he find out this information?
Yeah. Whatever Mordechai told him, he knew.
That's why it was a Haman.
What does it? And then the Frotis in the Medrash. The Medrash says a very interesting story. Omar Haman Rosh Alabadas Yisrael. Omar Anech and Ishelet Bem. Hareini Mapel Gerolas Hischu V'Chedes Nissen. All the Chus Pesach. Beers Chus Pesach Cotton. Every Chodesh he went through and he realized every one has a mazel and a chus. The only Chodesh he said, he looked at all the mazalas. He said, in one Chodesh there is Chazer Ubodek b'mazalas. Telez Chus Pesach, Shchur, Chus Yosef. He looked at every mazel. He said, no. It's every Chodesh is dangerous. Every mazel is dangerous. He came to Adar. He said, Adar is dogim, and dogim, every fish swallows. The big fish swallows. The world is a jungle in Chodesh Adar. And he said, that he said, Moshe Rabbeinu died. Miyad Somchach Simcha Gedoyla v'Amar Adar ein lo zechus u'mazoloi ein lo zechus v'lo yoyda lo sheba'adar meis Moshe Rabban shel Yisrael. Great. V'lo yoda sheba'echad ba'adar meis u'ba'echad ba'adar noilad. The Gemara says Beshiva. We'll talk about this in a minute if it was a machlokes or not. Maybe it's a gives a question. Omar kashem shadogim boilam kachani boilayos. Omar kadosh baruch hu rosha dogim pa'omim nivloim pa'omim boilam. What do you think? Every fish thinks he's going to swallow the other fish. It comes a bigger. You think you're going to follow? You're going to think you're this. You're going to swallow. You're going to be swallowed. The Pashup Pshat in the Gemara and the Medrash is that the Gemara says Kedai Yom Aleida Shetachaper Alamisa. So Bepashtus is that he was a fool. It was just the Leida, the Sechus of the Leida takes away the Chisoron of the Petira. So it's all is equal, but not that there's something special in Adar for the Eden.
When you say Leda, you say
The birth.
You mean his whole life, or just
His birth,
just
David's birth.
Because there's no zechut in it, just the birth.
Soon we'll learn about it. You'll see that's not that way. So the Pashtup Pshat in the Gemara is that it's equal. He made a mistake. He thought that there is a negative and it was negative 50, it's not negative, it's equal. It's 0, 0, 0. But the emes, and according to that, so chodesh shenepach lehem, the whole chodesh was nepach, is only from Purim is nepach. Mishenichnas adamar misimcha or the bari mazle is all started from the days of Haman. But before that, it was not really bari mazle. The Rebbe says not that way. It's not the pshat. Because there's the Gemara in the Yerushalmi, and the Rebbe kocht very much in this Yerushalmi, that it says that K'shayore Moshe Yodoi v'Gover Yisrael K'shayaniach Yodoi v'Gover Amalek, which Gavur has a whole shaykhis toch to Purim, because the center of Amalek is the Hama. So the Gemara Yerushalmi says that they were very smart people, and they knew that the people that have a mazel that's strong is always going to win the war. And they knew that the people whose day it was their birthday, or they knew to machaven the mazolas, exactly when is their mazel is goiver, they put them in the front line. And Moshe picked up his hands and mixed up the mazolas, and therefore loy meshaloi b'meheda who noifel, because it's his mazel, and Moshe Rabbeinu did away with the mazolas, mixed them up, and therefore they died. So we see from there the Gemara said that the mazoloi goiver like gover Yisrael, it's Meloshin Abazah, the gover Yisrael on a yom holedis. Oh, so Ebazoi Moshe Rabbeinu, where is and Rashi says Moshe, it says when you Moshe who Yisrael hey Moshe Nosei Adar kechol Adar ka Nosei Akol so Rabbi Feidish Rashi Parshas Chukas. So because the Rashi says once it says Vishmach Yisrael and once it says Vishlach Moshe, which one is it? The Rashi is the same thing. Moshe Yisrael, it's a Zol Bazach. So when Moshe Rabbeinu is born, that's Mazolon Shel Yisrael. Dova Pashat. Pashat thing there says beautiful. When is the mazel body? When is the v'takif? The Gemara says mazel takif. When is the mazel of a Jew strong? In the day of his birth. When every yid is a shaykhis to Moshe Rabbeinu, especially Pichsidis, and the Alter Rebbe says in Panya Perek Membez, every yid has a shaykhis and the shams to Moshe Rabbeinu. So every yid's mazel is strong on the chodesh of Adar. It's not only the day, also the chodesh. So therefore, that's what Haman didn't understand. Haman had nicht gehabt. The Zayda Amalek had gewusst, and Haman didn't know. He didn't realize that there's the concept of Mazolei Goyva and the Yemaledis. He might have known when his birthday was. He didn't know that side of Mazolei Goyva and the Yemaledis. He was born, he passed away again. So bottom line, he passed away in this month. So it's bad for the Jews. But he didn't realize it's the concept of Mazolei Goyva and Yemaledis. And the mazel stays, and that's the mazel of the Yidden. The Yidden of a shaykhis to Moshe Rabbeinu. So therefore, there is mazolei goyver, and therefore it is a strong thing. The Rebbe says, with this we can answer akasha bepnimius haTorah. That the question is asked when Bezin adds another chodesh, why are they adding chodesh Adar? Pashto pshat is that this is just the last station. When they have to, there's several considerations that go into making a leap year. Obviously, because Pesach has to be in the spring, and there's a deficit of days from a lunar year to the solar year, and la'erech, it's 10 days, and so every 3 years you add 30 days, so you add a month. You add a month, but why is it Chodesh Adar? Maybe make 2 times Shvat, maybe to make 2 times Tevis. Why Dafka Adar? The simple reason it's the last station. So because sometimes
it says seasonal.
Oh, you want to party more?
Yeah.
The Rebbe says because Adar is doch mazolei goyver from a yid, so let's make double Adar, double the simcha. And the emes is because really the concept of a second Adar is that the Levona became smaller, and therefore there is a chesoron in the Levona. And Yidden are connected to the Levona. The Goyim are connected to the Chama. And the Yidden are connected to the Levona.
Because the Arabs actually count through
Lunar.
what?
Lunar.
Yeah, the lunar.
Only lunar.
Yeah, and that's why they have a problem with the age. The age is like they're 20, us is still 17 or 18. When it comes to legal, they have a problem because according
they don't catch up.
Yeah, they don't catch up. It continues. They have a problem.
Have the job of being metaken the levona. Oselavi taka there will not be a chisar on the levana. So that's why is it dafke we make when we have to be mashlim in order to straighten out the moon in Adar, because Adar the Yidden have the koyach to be mashlim the levana. So therefore dafke Adar. And the second nekuda, Adar is the from simcha, and this bittul b'shishim is when the Rebbe said this big thing about bittul b'shishim, and the bottom line is that this makes the lost love is oira levana koyra chama. So therefore it's an Adar, and not only that. It's in Zion Adar. Zion, if you break up Zion, Zion is Gimel and Dalet. Together is Zion. And we know from the Pasuk, Mazel Tov is God. Bo God, Rashi says, Bo Simen Tov. So Zion Adar is Meramez and Simen Tov. And especially in this year where Rosh Chodesh Adar was on a Beis Gimel. So, I'm sorry, Gimel Dalet. It was a Tuesday, Wednesday. Is God. Bo God, it's a Simen Tov. It's a good mazel. Body mazel of the Yidden. That the Yidden are body, the Yidden are healthy, the Yidden are strong, and their mazel is healthy and strong.
Rabbi, Gavar Mazalo, this is why the Rebbe made everybody
in their birthday. And also the Rebbe said, Gimel Dalet, the other way around, is dog, which is mazel dogim, which is also the Sheikhs to Chodesh Adar. No, but Apich said this. So this is Dava Pashat L'Choyra. So that the Gewalt of Chodesh Adar is because Mazolei Goyver, because Moshe Rabbeinu was born. Chazal say Ein Mazel Yisrael. Chassidus says, what's up shot Ein Mazel Yisrael?
We're above Mazal.
Ein, that Ayin, the Goyim have the Koyach of the Mazolas affect them, but the Yidden Ein Mazel Yisrael. The level of ayin, the chokhmah ayin temotze, the level of ayin, which is Mesiris Nefesh that the Yid has, the neshama, the essence of the neshama. Mazel, the word mazel means noisel, the leaks down, nosli, right? Liquid, something that leaks down is noisel. The Chassidus says that ayin, the level of ayin bosa. Ayin, which is the union of Chokhmah. So Ayin, which refers to the highest level of the neshama, is noisel, leaks down to the Yid. That gives the Yid the power to have Mesiris Nefesh. And that's why in this Chodesh we find that the Yidden have the big koyach to have Mesiris Nefesh. The whole thing, according to the Alter Rebbe, the whole Gewalt of Purim and the mile of Purim over Pesach, over Chanukah, is that Chanukah was Rabin Ba'Ma'atim. There were few that had Mesiris Nefesh. But Purim, the whole Klal Yisrael had Mesiris Nefesh. Alter Rebbe says that Haman had a thing against Yehudim. But if they would agree to become Ois Yehudim, they would have no Gzeres Mavis against them. And yet, not one person, Alter Rebbe says, Lo Yol Al Daita Machsheves Chutz, not one person ever thought to go away from Judaism. They all had Mesiris Nefesh. So that's the mile of Purim. Why is it Dafke and Chodesh Adar? The Giden had the Koyach to have Mesiris Nefesh, because the Chodesh Adar gave them the Koyach. Because then is Bori Mazli, the Ayin, which is Mazel Yisrael, ain't Mazel Yisrael. The Ayin, which is the Koyach of the essence of the Neshama, is gives the strongest Koyach to the Yid in the Chodesh Adar.
But a lot of Yidden drank in the Mishnah. But
then they did tshuva, and the biggest way of Mesiris Nefesh that
they had an excuse. We had.
Aleph is with the Aleph, yeah, which is like a chochma ayin to matzah. So that's a pshat al pichsidus when we say bori mazle, not stam a gudzunta mazle. It means that the neshama that a yid has sometimes when we're weak to make a strong resolution to do something strong. When it comes to Chodesh Adar, we have that extra power. Because the neshama has a strength, just like in the days of Mordechai and Esther, that on Chodesh Adar the Yidden have the strength. So here the Yidden have the strength, and that's merumas in the word Adar. What's the word? That's Adar is Adir b'Morem Hashem. The Gemara says that the Yidden are called Adir. Adir b'Morem Hashem.
Adar is strong.
Adar is strong. That's what it says. Arois shiskayim enachos of Yitva b'M Adar. It says Adir b'Morem Hashem. So Adar means strong. The strength of the neshama is Nizgala. The Mashah says that Chodesh Adar is Adirim Eilu Yisrael. The Gemara says in Menachem, L'schazek b'avodas Hashem, Hachoizek va'oimetz l'mesiris nefesh shelamayla ma'aseichel. That's what Tzemach Tzedek says. So that, and the Rebbe says that it's also a Rem is an Adar. Adar is Yud Aleph Dor. Yud Aleph is the Yechida Neshama is Dor, Dida. So that's the Oimek Pshat. So again, the simple Pshat is that Adar is a good mazel for Yidden, body mazli. Why is it body mazli? Because the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, and in the birth is the mazel strong. And the Chassidus is Adar b'Morem Hashem, Yud Aleph Dor, Dida b'Tachtoinim. And Shiva Ba'adar.
What's Yud Aleph?
Yud Aleph is the Etzem HaNeshama.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's why, and Adar is Zion is the 7 days of creation. Yud and Zion Ba'adar is the Hilod of Moshe Rabbeinu. Which Adar, another name is Adar is Aleph Dor. Aleph is the Eibush himself. Aluf Shaloidlom is Dor. He comes to live with the Yidden. And Shiva Ba'adar is 7, is the completion, the 7 days of Shiva Simei Binyan. And therefore, Adar is also the time when there is Komas HaMishkan. The first 7 days of Adar is the union of the Leida Moshe Rabbeinu. The last 7 days of Adar was the first time when they put up the Mishkan from Chav Gimel to Reish Chodesh Adar. Every day Moshe Rabbeinu put together the whole Mishkan. And Moshe Rabbeinu, according to many opinions, was a Kohen Gadol for those days, and he wore Big Day Lova, which is Meramas, that his Kedusha that day was like the Kedusha of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippurim. We spoke about this once, right? There was Meramas on this Inyan. So Mela, that has a shaykhus again to Chodesh Adar, which is Aleph Dor. So this all has a shaykhus that the toikef haneshama. The neshama has a big koyach from a sidus nefesh in dafke the Chodesh Adar. So what we take out from Chodesh Adar is that we have a koyach to grow spiritually b'Chodesh Adar, because Adar is when the neshama kicks in. That's the Rebbe said. Not only it also kanoizel, it leaks down into every aspect in life, to the extent that the Gemara says that a Yid that has a court case against the Goy, you should try to push off the case and have the case heard in Chodesh Adar. Why? Because Pashut Begashmi is the mazel of a Yid, is strong b'Chodesh Adar. So whatever you could to try to get the court case pushed into Chodesh Adar.
What is it for Yid against the Yid?
No, it doesn't work.
May work.
Only if you're against the Goy. If you're against the Goy. Uncle Sam is a Goy.
Uncle Sam today is mostly 90. Fortunately, there's a lot of Yid in there.
No, Uncle Sam is still a Goy.
We're higher than Mazel. We're higher than Mazel. Why is this making a philip that our Mazel is
They're saying that
You need a shot.
Mazel here, we're talking about Neshama. The iron, the dag of iron, that's noisel.
used to do that.
Talking about the dag of iron, that's noisel. That week, when the Rebbe spoke to Sicha, I'm still trying to find who this person is. The Rebbe said it was Mr. Yosef. Apparently, he was a contributor to the Nesha campaign, and he had some court case against a goy, and he won that week. The Rebbe says when a Yid wins against a goy, it's the chasimcha for all Yidden. And we see Bemuchish that a Psayid had a case against. I emailed this morning Rabbi Zelix, he still didn't get back to me. This is the only person I know that would know the information that was there back. I hope he's going to get back to me. I'll share the information next year. Who is this Yosef? What was the case? I'm very curious. But the Rebbe said, you see, Begashmias, this week there was a Yid, his name is Yosef, and he had a case against a Goy.
He won.
And he won. It's the Chasimcha, V'aftalach Kamoich, it's a Simcha ba'wan Yid, it's a Simcha ba'al Yidin.
Yeah.
So we see that Begashmias, that it's noisel, that Pashut, not only b'neshama, not only the neshama the Yid is strong in Chodesh Adar, Adar b'morim, Aleph Dor, that the Eibishter is Dor, and Yud Aleph Dor, but we see Begashmias, that Yidin are Matzliach in Chodesh Adar, Yidin are Matzliach in Chodesh Adar.
When they have stories in previous years,
Yidin are Matzliach in Chodesh Adar. It's an unbelievable thing. The ultimate bemis is, before we continue, the Tashkocha protest, that we see that going into Chodesh Adar this year, that the President of the United States gave the State of the Union, right? So who are we? The Rebbe could say things, but still we can look. Listen, we have to mishabech the Eibishter for good things that we have. There's no question. You don't need a Rebbe for that. The Rebbe shows us the way. I mean, that's what a Yid has to do. Whenever it's a positive lesson, that's every Yid could point as Kelim Vanveya. I mean, you see the Eibishter is smiling at us. It's unbelievable. The State of the Union got pushed. Bis kommt Chodesh Adar. And what happens to the State of the Union? Unbelievable. He's talking about everything. Iran is the enemy of America and the Jews. I was at the Chabad house at the beginning of this year. It's so sad to see that Jews in America, aside from Yidden, Donald Trump is like second to Hitler. It's like it's unbelievable. The sin that they have to this guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The sin that they have to this guy.
Some state of
now, naniach it's true. So say it's true that his base are anti-Semites. But look, so wouldn't you think that he wouldn't want to anger his core voters, his supporters? So why is he standing at the State of the Union?
And mentioning the Holocaust.
And he gets they should sing Happy Birthday for a Yidala who's sitting there, the Gatois from Dachas, that the whole Senate is singing Happy Birthday for a Yidala. And which Yid? His name is Yehuda. And the Megillah, the Yid not called Yehuda. I'm sorry if I'm getting carried away with a little symbolism here. Ish Yehudi. Listen, he is a Yid that Nebuch suffered because he was a Jew. He suffered because he was a Jew. There's no other crimes he had. His only crime was that he was a Jew, and that's why he survived. He survived the Rahman al-Islam.
He took that for his own, the credit that he tried to do whatever the United States, since the beginning, we are making America great from the beginning. And this is how we did it. We won the World War I, World War II, everything. He tried to impress
Israel never had a friend in the Oval Office as good as this guy. That's the bottom line.
With all his
I don't know about Israel, about the Jews.
Israel never had...
The Jews in total, even the Jews here, had the most success.
Hating Jews, that's
And Mela, the Eibishter made, Veitz Hashem Hoysa Zois, not because this lady had gehat Azoy, Azazach, and the feud.
The white people, the white dress.
The white dress and the pink dress. It was the Eibishter word. Veitz Hashem Hoysa Zois, that you wait till Maget Reine Chodesh Adar, and stands up a man who's a leader of the world and says that there are people that have a molek. Mamish, not stop. There are the Shonim that hold that any person that talks the talk of a molek, it has the din of a molek. There are a few the Shonim that hold that way. But when you see a country that declares that the Jews, they want to throw them in the Rahman al-Islam into the ocean, and where is this country sitting? Around Shushan Habira. Where are they sitting? Which country are we talking about?
History.
Which country are we talking about?
Iran.
We're talking about Shushan. We're talking Haman and Shushan. Tchias HaMeisim. Haman and his 10 sons, they're Ayatollahs. And they're around and they're saying the same thing. And comes along, Gemara and says that Achashverosh, Yeshomrim, that he was the biggest fool, and Yeshomrim is the biggest smart man. So we spoke about this once. L'chayra, Sapela. How could there be machloikas and Metzias? How could there be a machloikas? What, he's this most clever or the dumbest guy? How could there be machloikas? Which one was he? I don't have to say more pshat. If you know the president of the United, if you know anything about what's going on today in the United States, you could see why there would be two opinions about Achashverosh, if he was the biggest chacham or the biggest tippish. So stands up this guy and speaks to the whole world. Millions of people are watching it, and he's calling out Iran for their anti-Semitism. And he's giving COVID to a Yid. COVID, the whole American Senate sang happy birthday to the president. The Gemara makes a big deal about Shvur Malka, that he fixed up the belt for a Yid. And here is the president of the United States making like this for a Yid, for a Yehuda, for a proud Yid. It's a very nice thing. So we see that Chodesh Adar is body Mazel of a Yid. The Mazel of a Yid is strong. The Mela, what's the Hira? The Rebbe says that we have to use out Sai Beruchnis and Sai Begashmis to make strong achlotis about Limud HaTorah and Kiyum HaMitzvahs, Tigboiris HaChayis and Avodas Hashem, and Afotas HaMayonis and Afotas HaYadus for ourselves and for other Yid, and to reveal the strength of our neshama. The Adar B'Amorim Hashem, Aleph Dor, Yud Aleph Dor, to reveal the mazel, the ayin mazel, Yisrael, to reveal the body mazel, Beruchnius from the neshama, and Kiyum HaTorah Mitzvahs, and also Begashmius. The Yid has to be Adar is Adar, exactly. Adar is Adar, right? Exactly. The Rebbe says that's why Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not mentioned in the Parish. Beautiful shot. What does it? Ayin. There's no name. A baby's born doesn't have a name yet. Tell the bris. On day 7, there's no name. Day 8 is when they get the name. Shiva Ba'ad noch nicht gewen Kinome. Shiva was born, but Yeshem was born in Aleph. But the point is,
he's born more, so he didn't have to have a name.
But the pshat is that the etzem doesn't need a name. It says Neshama Chamisha Shemes Nikra Lo, that there are 5 names to the neshama, and the highest name the neshama has is Yechidach. So it says it's not just 5 names in the neshama. Api Kabbalah also that there's 5 levels in the neshama: Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chay, Yechidach. That's why you light on a yortzeh, you light 5 candles, connected to 5 daggers in the neshama. But Chamisha Shemes Chazal say Nikru Lo. She has 5 names. When you say she has 5 names, there's she and there's the 5 names. There is the Etzem HaNeshama. The Etzem HaNeshama, which is one, is not shaykh to be separate from the Eibishter, is Hoise Ba'omner Itoy. Like we say with Esther, she was always Ba'omner. Her loyalty to Mordechai Tzaddik was unbelievable. So every Yid's loyalty to the Eibishter is unbelievable. And that Da'agan the Neshama is Nizgal and Chodesh Adar. Again, because that's the time when Moshe Rabbeinu was Rabban Shel Yisrael is born. So the Pnimis in Yonim, that's when there's body Mazle, the Neshama is strong by Yid, and it gives him the Koyach that Mesiris Nefesh. That Da'agan Neshama doesn't even have a name. Therefore, Pashas Tetzaveh is the only Pashas, Balaturim, and the Rosh says, since Moshe Rabbeinu is born, that it doesn't have his name. The emissaries, the Balaturim and the Moirenaim both have a pshat of why this week's Parsha doesn't have Moshe Rabbeinu's name. One pshat is from the Moirenaim, that the reason in this week's Parsha doesn't have Moshe Rabbeinu's name is because usually you read Parshas Tetzaveh very close. Like this year, Tuesday night is the Yortzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu, the birthday, right? And then what's going to be Shabbos, Yud Aleph, is going to be Parshas Tetzaveh. So Parshas Tetzaveh, which is close to the day of his P'tida, we read about Parshas Tetzaveh where his name is not mentioned. That's Meramaz and his P'tida. They passed away. So the Rebbe says it's a nice reason, but one second, but you're saying the whole Gemara is saying that Kedai HaLeida Shetachaper Al Amisa, and the Hama was a fool. He didn't realize that the Leida was Machaper Al Amisa, so this Tam is missing a little salt and pepper. And the other reason is from the Tur that Moshe Rabbeinu had Mesiris Nefesh. He said to the Eibishter, if you're right, Mayin, Machenina Mesipracha Shekasafta. And the Gemara says, Kilas Chochem Afil Al Tanai, Veloinis Kaimat Naiba. The Chochem makes a klola, even if it's a condition. If you won't forgive the Jews, erase me from this book. But the Eibishter did forgive them. But since he said those words, his name was to be erased at least from one parsha. And that's why it was erased from Parshas Tetzaveh. So Frekt on the Shiloh, why Parshas Tetzaveh? When you read the story of the Torah, we didn't yet get to the story of the Egel even. Next week. So this time also is L'chayra missing a little salt and pepper. The Rebbe says that Api Chassidus you could say like this. Ata is the essence of Moshe Rabbeinu, before there's even a name. It doesn't say, usually it says, Vaydav Hashem Moshe Leimer. Ata means the etzem of Moshe, before there is a name. There's no name Moshe. The essence of the neshama, Ba'om Na'ite, which is one mamish with the Eibishter, even higher than Yechida, one with the Eibishter. The etzem of the neshama, which is one with the etzem of the Eibishter. That is merumas in the Yom Leida Shel Adam Shel Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's born, like any child is born, doesn't have a name yet, right? So that's the essence. That's why it's merumas in this pasha, which is close to the Yom Haleida Shel Moshe Rabbeinu. Is merumas? There's no name. It's higher than his name even. It's the etzem of the neshama Moshe Rabbeinu. The etzem of the neshama. There's no name, and that's why it doesn't say Veidaber Hashem al Moshe Leimer. The ato, which is the etzem of neshama Moshe Rabbeinu, Tetzave. You should connect the Yidden, and with a Vav, V'ata, Vav means noisel. The Ois Vav also means not only Chibur, what's mean Chibur also means Amshacha. It takes the Yidden to draw down. You should draw down to every Yid the Inyan of Shem and Zayas Zoch, which is the Inyan Mesiris Nefesh to the Eibishter. Zayas, there's a marshal, Medrash says Zayas is Moser Nafshal Kedush Hashem, and Chazal say the oil, when you press them, that's when the oil comes out. And the Yidden, in Golus, when they get pressed, they have Mesiris Nefesh. The beauty of the Jew, of his neshama, shines out when they have Mesiris Nefesh.
Rabbi, when Batya called Moshe Moshe? Anyone know?
It's sometime after his birth. After his birth.
Right away. Because she saw him Mahul.
3 months later.
So we know after the brit.
She was later, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. She realized that they didn't serve bagels and lox because he already had a bris. So she made a masibah with bagels and lox, and then she gave him the name Moshe.
She made a special kiddush.
She made a kiddush, yeah.
Yeah.
Basia's catering.
So l'chaim. So this is the part of the Rebbe. The bottom line is that this pasha is higher than even the name of Moshe Rabbeinu, because we're close to the Leida of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is Meramaz and because Moshe Yisrael is one thing. So that's so Mamela in this week's parsha. There isn't even the name of Moshe Rabbeinu because it's Meramaz at the etzem of the Yid. So again, to summarize what we have here, the Nekuda is that Chazal tell us the story of Haman and how he made a miscalculation about the mazel of Adar. The Pashup Pshat in the Gemara is that the Leid and the Misa cancel out each other, but the Oimek Pshat is no, not the Pshat. He said that he figured it out. Adar ein loy zechus u'mazola ein zechus. Het nish gewusst the Chassidus Pshat. No, ayin loy zechus, mazoloi ayin. That me'ayin yovoi ezri, me'ayin chochma me'ayin temotza. That there is that fakert. He didn't realize that there's body mazle. And the Yom Haled is the mazel is very strong. The person's mazel is very powerful, and therefore the Yid's koyach and Adar is the strongest. To the extent even if he has a court case against a goy, he's going to win a chodesh Adar. And beruchnius, it's very powerful. Ayin loy zechus. Mazoloi ayin. He didn't realize that the neshama is very strong in chodesh Adar. Adar b'moram Hashem. As Mamela, we have to use out these days of Adar for simcha, and use out these days of Adar for strength, to be megalar neshama, and to take a big chizuk in Torah mitzvahs, l'chaim. We should take and be matzliach and avodas Hashem chodesh Adar. And like Rebbe says, that all the yonim that are not so gevaldik should be bottled b'shishim in the simcha of Adar.
Oh, name.